Dancing with death was a popular theme in medieval art. At the same time, both a commentary on the brevity of life and a moral story of being prepared to meet your maker. Pieter Bruegel serves up a comprehensive overview of death in the 16th century. The Triumph of Death, Pieter Bruegel the Elder, 1562. Artists respond to the world around them. Before photography, a painting or sculpture was an historical record as well as an artful representation. The world has been subject to many plagues, and of course these momentous events have been portrayed in art. The COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 onwards has also inspired many artworks. Plague was a driving feature in Bruegel's The Triumph of Death, 1562. As Bruegel considered his plague-ridden time, his thoughts moved on to the bigger picture of death in all of its forms, the frailty of life, the shortness of life, the need to enjoy it while you may. He has not been alone in pondering these things in art. Human Frailty by Salvator Rosa in 1656 was also plague-inspired. The artist had lost his own young son to plague. Plague art recognises that death lives with us and that life is short. The story is told starkly. A baby signs a document agreeing that life is indeed brief and there are no guarantees. The mother looks on, resignation written over her face. She too knows that her baby may indeed be snatched too soon, and recognises that her own life too is frail. She has survived childbirth this time, but who can say what the future will bring? The angel of death hovers over the scene, directing the baby to the place to sign. Another plague painting is Adriaen van der Ven's Danse of Death, circa 1630. It depicts a weary mother, her seemingly dead child on her shoulders, looking with some sense of almost relief that death has arrived, quite animated, shaking his hourglass as if doffing his hat, reminding her that her time is up, and she too soon will be dancing the dance of death. Rather than fear, the sense that her long, tired, sad journey is nearing its end brings a kind of peace. At last death has arrived. Barely visible in the background is a church in whose grounds she and her child will be laid to rest. But it is in The Triumph of Death that Bruegel has given us a 16th century panorama of death in many of its forms, including the horrors of the plague. Various skeletal figures representing death himself stalked the land. From executions to accidents to drownings at sea, the focus is of those dying from plague, falling in the streets, their bodies being eaten by dogs. Vast swathes of people are being herded by the skeletons of death into a structure which is at once a building but also a coffin. In they go, being prodded and pushed by the scythe-wielding skeletons. Two of the skeletons are riding pale horses, no doubt a reference to one of Revelation's 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And the 4th horse was called Death. A cartload of bones wends its way towards the coffin, a few trying to hide underneath. At either side of the giant coffin, legions of skeletons await their turn to go and wreak havoc on the population, their swords ready and their shields shaped like coffins. From the bottom, let's tour clockwise. A traveller set upon by a skeleton villain, robbing him and cutting his throat. A lady fallen by plague is left to rot in the street, attended to by a hungry dog. A nobleman, whether you are poor or the king, no riches can save you now. No payment is sufficient to pay off death. When the sands have run through the hourglass of your life, all of your riches go to another. A series of watery deaths. Death at sea, deaths by drowning, death by misadventure, death by someone throwing you in, those caught in the net, those who died of old age, their cane by their side, those burned alive, those sent to battle. Ring the bells, the time to meet your Maker is upon you. Those put to death through imprisonment, those shipwrecked, their ships also catching fire, those put to death on the wheel, their limbs broken and hoisted aloft to bake in the sun, dying of exposure, their flesh ripped by ravens. Those hung from trees, and those hung from gallows. Those executed by sword, those who slipped and fell. A dinner is interrupted. Was this the inspiration for Monty Python's Grim Reaper death scene in The Meaning of Life? The participants in the dinner are rounded up, making futile attempts to escape. A card table is turned over. Yes, the odds are certainly not in your favour in life's gamble. Finally, we look here at the bottom right, a young couple, just above the artist's signature. The man serenading his love, oblivious to the carnage being enacted behind them, even to the skeleton now assisting with the musical accompaniment. It is the only bright part of the entire scene, almost hidden, almost insignificant. For what are we to do in the face of the frailty of life? Are we to dwell on the ways it can be taken from us? Or take those precious moments we're given to find love, to enjoy beauty, even to make peace with our Creator? They face away from the entire painting. They have chosen to look into each other's eyes, not to death. They make music. They sit close. They enjoy the company of each other. And as we ponder the journey of life, we are reminded again and again through art of its beauty, but also of its frailty. Our time is short. The dance is already upon us. Enjoy the tune. Enjoy the ride. It is the dance of death, only a slip away from our ultimate resolution. Or maybe a poor choice, or bad luck, or even just old age, will see us all taken one day. Round and round we twirl, faster and faster, as the shadows lengthen and the bells toll. Pieter Bruegel the Elder, The Triumph of Death. Hi, thanks for watching. If you want reactions to more great art, please like, subscribe, and ring that notifications bell. See you next time.